One of the hardest things about being a video game fan is the fact that you can't be critical. You can't discuss how much you don't want to splurge all over something without being called a hater, without being told you're clickbaiting. This is about Grand Theft Auto 6. I am very interested in this game. If they offer it, I'm sure they will. Hell, 2K did it for the Lego racing game. They're going to do it for this game. If they say, Jaffe, give us $150, you can play it 5 days early, 3 days early. I'll be there day one. I'm interested. I like Grand Theft Auto. I respect Grand Theft Auto. I'm just saying the trailer left me kind of And as we head into 2025, where I think we're going to start getting a mountain of data and information about what I'm sure will be a very successful game, discussions are heating up about it again. And all I'm saying is the trailer left me going, I'm interested, but I'm not excited. And I'm not hating. Jesus Christ. There will be riots if GTA 6 doesn't come out this year, says One Pump Giga. I'll cut to the chase. We will talk more in depth about it on the afternoon show. I think the expectations for Grand Theft Auto 6 are so high. I know. Get mad at me if you want. I don't think they currently think they have the goods to back it up. I think it has really sort of transcended into, it's kind of like Michael Jackson releasing an album after Thriller. Bad was great. That was the album. It sold crazy amounts of copies, but it wasn't Thriller. And certainly Dangerous, that came after Bad, wasn't bad, right? Meaning it wasn't the sales of Bad. It wasn't as good as Bad. And so I think with Grand Theft Auto, I think especially with some of the key creatives being gone, I think they understand they can't shit the bed, but like, what do you do with Grand Theft Auto? Like, I know, of course, we have to make a sequel. I don't think anything they've shown so far, I do not think they've got it. I really don't. But that's just my take. We'll see. Bookster says they showed one trailer, LMAO. You can barely judge off one trailer. I can totally judge off one trailer. It's not that I'm judging off the first trailer as it relates to it being a great trailer. It's that there was nothing really there. Like, I get the fact, it's kind of like the Fair Play or the Jade Raymond trailer. It's not that it was bad. It's that what they showed, if you're going to put your best foot forward for your first impression, and what they showed was what they showed, even if it wasn't done, you would expect the high concept to grab you by the balls and go, okay, we're not done yet, but you got to fucking see this. This is pretty badass. I do not think the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer or the Fair Play trailer, if that's what it's called, achieve that. So no, the first trailer was absolutely just like, okay. It's kind of sat there. The tone of the trailer, says Zack, hit every note you'd want. I have zero concerns. That's my concern, is if you and I can predict the tone that we want, is a suggestion that there's not a wow factor to it. You don't give the audience what they want. You give the audience what they want and then surprise and delight the fuck out of them with 20% of it. And I didn't see a hint of the 20%. I'm not trying, look, I'll buy it day one. I'm excited for it. I'm not trying to shit on your parade or anything, but I'm sorry. If you just look at it as a trailer and I didn't call that Grand Theft Auto, you wouldn't be going, oh my God. You'd be going, oh, it's kind of cool. I think the trailer for that anime open world Grand Theft Auto game looks more interesting at a trailer level, not at a game level, just at a trailer level. I guess I don't understand waiting for a bad game, says Zack, when they've never made a bad game. I don't think anybody's waiting for a bad game. I think State of Emergency was probably a bad game. But if you're talking about Grand Theft Auto, I think there were a lot of components, the key of which two of the main key creatives are gone now. And I think the setting for this one, the satire that they tried to show in the trailer, it's very rote. It's one of those things where it's like everybody expected it. But I want to be surprised. I want to be delighted. But, I'm happy to be delighted. Guys, allow me to have an opinion that I get it, man. I get it. Grand Theft Auto is going to be great. It's going to be the best thing ever. I can't wait. Oh, my God. You happy? You happy? I mean, seriously, man, let's be critical of things and still be fans. I'm excited for it. That's wrong. I'm curious about it, but I'm not going to be a fucking slave to the hype when the hype isn't justified. Not yet anyway. Zack says, Jaffe, your opinion is fine. I'm all for critical, but I'd be more warranted like CD Projekt Red with The Witcher after Cyberpunk. I think the issue, though, is that Rockstar, like I said, have lost a couple of their very important key people. That doesn't mean they can't recover. That doesn't mean the people who are left that have been there since the beginning are not meaningful contributors. Of course they are. But I think that, along with the fact that the trailer didn't blow me out of the back of my fucking chair, and I expect that from Grand Theft Auto 6. And it didn't do that for me, personally. But maybe it will. Maybe it will. Looking at hype doesn't mean anything, right? It's kind of like the first time I ever really learned that lesson was in the early 1990, where the movie Dick Tracy from Warren Beatty came out. And whoever put that movie out, maybe it was Warner Brothers, had spent so much money on PR and marketing that it opened to $100 million weekend. And that was a big fucking deal back then in 1990. Like, wow, that's a lot of fucking money. One weekend, it made $100 million. But everybody who saw it, including me, was like, I mean, it was good. It was fine. It had some moments, but nobody talks about Dick Tracy today other than maybe the visual style of the movie. It was hype. It was bought and paid for, or it was built on the bones of the hype of Batman the previous summer, right? That was the first time I realized that you can't really get and stay that excited just because people are hyped about something before it comes out. That's easily manufactured and or built on the bones of something that came before. It's like Jurassic Park Lost World. The second Jurassic Park was a huge hit when it opened, but nobody likes the second Jurassic Park. It was terrible. It's fucking terrible. AJ says, Jaffe, do you think Rockstar is nervous for the fact that they have to successfully land the plane of dropping a sequel to the biggest game ever? I don't know if nervous is the right word, but I think they, there's a couple ways to handle it, right? There's what I would consider the healthy way, which is all you can guarantee is great craftsmanship and doing the best you can and reading the market the best you can. And you're probably not going to get Grand Theft Auto 5 numbers. Not because the game is not going to be good, bad, or otherwise, or brilliant, but because there are lightning in a bottle reasons things happen that are absolutely out of people's control. Just like Lin-Manuel Miranda, if he makes another, which he will, another musical after Hamilton, it's probably never going to be Hamilton again in terms of getting a musical on the cover of Rolling Stone and having high school kids that are more than just theater kids knowing the soundtrack. There are things that just kind of sort of fall into place. And I think that you only become nervous if you think that is ever in your control. There's a John Wooden basketball coach, dead basketball coach, great basketball coach. Famous saying is, don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do, right? I think if you're making video games to a sequel to one of the biggest video games, if not the biggest video game of all time, you just have to sit back and go, look, all we can do is control the craftsmanship, hope we're on our A game, try to read the market, and let the rest go. I think that's the way you got to do it in anything in life, right? You'd lose your fucking mind if you're trying to, if you're like Paul Atreides from Dune and you can watch the little paths of every action that causes every ripple effect. Okay, then I get it. Then I'm with you. It's like, okay, well, do that. Figure out what it was that made the lightning in a bottle. But since nobody can do that on the planet, maybe one day with quantum computing AI, we can do it. But right now we can't. I think the best you can do is just be good at your craft and hope for the best. So Ricardo says, Grand Theft Auto, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, Grand Theft Auto 6 world looks like the most realized world ever. I mean, I hear you and you may be right, but A, what does that mean? And as importantly, based on a trailer where they're having total control over what they show you. But based on some of the leaks, like I like the idea. There was one of the leaks of Grand Theft Auto 6 where you go into was it the donut shop or something where you can rob someplace. And even though it was a leak and it was early footage, you were seeing a lot of the code running above the heads of the NPCs. And it certainly seemed like what they were able to do and how they were able to respond to you coming into that area with the gun and robbing it was a lot more interesting than just AI characters going, no, and doing all that shit that we see over and over and over. So you may be right. I hope you're right. But so far, I think other than that, it's just a trailer. My most exciting thing was when I saw the AI sample of ChatGPT running in Grand Theft Auto 5, and you could go up to the NPCs and talk to them. And you could have full-on conversations with them. I'd love to see that be part of this. It's hard to believe it's not going to be. some aspect of that. I don't know. It's a big thing to take on, but I think that's one of my predictions of 2025. I think we will absolutely see the first AI game, not that uses NPC dialogue. We've seen that before, but one that really gets it right, where the AI is written to have barriers to make the characters in the world still seem very locked in and logical. So you're not going to be able to go, if it's a fantasy game and you go up to an AI, you're not going to be able to go, hey, what do you think of the new Taylor Swift album? Right? Then the AI will respond like somebody would respond in the Tolkien universe. Like, are you possessed? Are you mad? What the fuck are you? What is an album? What are you talking about? Let me call the guards. I think you've lost your fucking mind. You know, I think we're going to see something like that, and it's going to change a lot of hearts and minds, because I've touched with it enough with certain games that have played with it that it's game changing. Literally. It's delightful.